What is good? Making the Walk Podcast, episode 15. We are going to talk UFC 292 and amongst other various things. But before we get into it, y'all know what to do. Like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell all the homies. We're here talking UFC stuff amongst other crazy things. So definitely have them join the conversation. So it's been a little bit of time since we've been on, and we went on vacation. Me and the family went and had a really good time. Wanted to squeeze that vacation in before school started. So that's what we've been doing. But during that time, a couple of events happened. And it's one of those, events are happening, but they're not the big blockbuster summer events. It's kind of a lull in the schedule as far as the news cycle is concerned. But that didn't mean that we didn't get a little Conor news. We saw Conor at the Anthony Joshua, Robert Helonius massacre. And we saw him, I don't know what that man doing. I say that. I don't know what he doing. I mean, he just out in front of cameras giving sound bites and interviews and just out here. The boy tripping. But we had some interesting things happen during that time period. Tatiana Suarez, she beat Jessica Andrade. That was a big one. Big move for her. That affects that division, among other things. But what we're here today to talk about is UFC 292. That's Suga Show gets his title shot against Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain gets to do something for his legacy. But we'll dig into that later. So we'll focus on the main card, but I do want to point out a couple of things. This card as a whole is pretty damn good. Even losing the star power that Cody Garbrandt has, it was still a pretty solid card. I mean, where you have the two Silva girls opening the card, you got Karen Silva against Mina Morose and Andrea KGB Lee. I really like saying their name because it just rolls together. I like nicknames that just roll like that. You know, Andrea KGB Lee. It's pretty cool. But against Natalia Silva, man, I don't know why I'm into these Silva girls, but they come in and they show up and they show out. Andre Petrosky, he's fighting GM3. And then we got the Ultimate Fighter finales, which, you know, that's cool. They did their thing on there. I didn't watch it as much. I actually kind of got turned off by Conor a little bit. It just seemed a little over the top. I mean, maybe it's just me, but that's the way it felt, and it just made me want to stay away from the series. Now I'm glad that Dana White's Contender Series is back. The Contender Series is really just taking that space. It's filled that void that the Ultimate Fighter left when it started to not really change with the time, so to speak. I feel like it's too real worldish for us to get into now. We don't fall for the storylines anymore when they try to engineer them. So it just kind of fell flat a little bit. But those finales are on the card. We got RoboCop fighting Dennis Tialulin out of Russia. And then Chris Weidman comes back against Brad Tavares. That one scares me. I don't know. That leg break looks so bad. And I just wonder, that's kind of, one of the times that I wish I were in the fighter's head to see, like, what are they feeling in this moment? Because that's scary, man. Like you have a major injury like that. It makes you tentative. And now you're going to fight another dude until one of you quit, tap out, or they run out of time. Like, that's scary. And he's coming back to do it against Brad Tavares, who is no slouch. I mean, I know he's had some losses, but dude is super talented. So that's not an easy out. So I applaud Chris for even showing up, making weight and making that walk. Like, that's that's pretty impressive. That shows a lot of his character. But going into the main, or not main event, but the main card, Marlon Chito Vera is matched up against Pedro Munhoz. And this fight is interesting. One, because obviously Chito being on a card with Sugar Sean O'Malley. That's another one. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Yeah. It just flows. I don't know. Marlon Chito Vera. But like I think that this is important for him to be here because, and I haven't seen them interact on Embedded. I definitely watched that to see. It just gives you a little bit more intense feelings about the fight because you see the interactions and all this and that behind the scenes. I haven't seen that they've run into each other, but it's early in the week. So we'll see if they do to kind of be able to build the promos for the next fight if it indeed does go that way. But this is an interesting fight for him. Obviously, he's coming off of the loss to Corey Sandhagen and matched up against Pedro Munhoz is always game for a fight. The question is he going to start slow? This is only a 3-round fight, so he doesn't have 5 rounds to, kind of pick his spots and, set traps and allow them to evolve organically without kind of forcing the issue. And so I think that Chito finds a way to start faster in this fight, and I actually think that he might get a finish. But I do think that Chito will take this fight. He is the favorite. Just I think maybe minus 200 or something like that. But I think that he's favored for good reason. I think that he's just at a bit of a higher level than Pedro is at this point. Pedro can still cause him some issues just because he's kind of one of those professional fighters. Like he does everything pretty good. But as far as like anything that I feel like that would really, really danger Chito, it would have to be Pedro pitching the shutout and giving him so many looks that it takes Chito too long to pull the switch on, one of those kill shots. So I think that Marlon figures it out a little bit earlier in this fight as opposed to other fights. But we shall see. Damone Blackshear against Mario Bautista. This was where Cody Garbrandt was originally supposed to be. He pulled out of the fight. And I'm almost like, thank goodness, man. Like every time, it's almost like what I was talking about with Chris Weidman. Like he's another fighter because of the losses and how he lost. I mean, especially Pedro Munhoz. Like Cody is just a scary person to watch fight because you don't know what his attitude is going to be like as far as like, is he going to just come in to brawl? Is he going to be technical? Or if he's going to look as if he second guess being in there. And I think that's the biggest thing when he's in there now. It almost seems like he fights to not get hit. And, he's still athletic. He's still young. And he's still capable, I believe. But I think that there's some tentativeness with him. And, like Dana said, like if you are even thinking of not being in there, you're thinking of being retired, you need to get out now because you don't want to go in there with a foot outside of the door. And it feels like Cody second guesses himself when he gets in there. That's what makes me scared when I see him fight. So I'm almost glad he pulled out of this one. But Damone Blackshear, I think it's been 14 days, or it will be 14 days. That's a quick turnaround, quick weight cuts back to back. But he says that he's game for it and he's filling in this case, really to kind of get a jump on the division, which is cool. I think he had a twister in the fight last weekend, which was amazing. One of the few. And so going against Mario Bautista is not easy, especially on short notice, very, very, very short notice. I think Mario Bautista is primed to get Damon Blackshear out of there. I actually think that he finishes him too. But I do lean towards Bautista. Just he's fresher. He's not coming off of a fight. And I think that he, at this point, is a better fighter, at least for now. So speaking of somebody who thinks that they're pretty good, Ian Machado Garry, number 13, going up against Neil Magny, number 11, in the welterweight division. And this is so first of all, Ian says that he's carrying the card, which strong statement. I mean, sounds brash and cocky like somebody else from Ireland that I've heard say things like that before, and eventually was. But he's super entertaining. He wore that shirt that had Jeff Neal's mugshot on it, which I thought was kind of fucked up. But I mean, it's funny though. But it's kind of fucked up though. But so he wore that, but Jeff Neal had to pull out of the fight, unfortunately. And Neil Magny, as he's done so many times, jumped in to fill that spot. And it's actually a pretty interesting fight, to see if the new guard can beat the old guard. Neil Magny is, I don't know what you would call him. He's kind of like the Jim Miller of the welterweights. He's got a lot of longevity records. Good fighter, not great fighter, but a good fighter can beat a lot of people. So this is an interesting fight to see if Ian can enforce his fight and his game, or if Neil is going to get him in a grappling, clinch heavy fight like he always does. Just grinding somebody out on the fence, taking shots when he needs to, and looking for opportunities to finish it. This one is a very interesting fight. This is a litmus test for Ian Machado Garry to see if he is who he thinks he is. And I think that he is. I think that he wins this fight. I actually don't think that he gets a finish. I think that it'll be a decision that will go his way. He's heavily favored, minus 500. So I think that a lot of people think that he's probably going to get a finish, but I'm going to give Neil a little bit of credit on that. I don't think that he gets finished. I think he finds a way to keep from getting tagged too much, but I think that he still gets controlled in the fight. So moving on to one of the title fights, Amanda Lemos against Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili, she was speaking a little English the other day. She said something about being in Boston. And I was like, oh, she said Boston was cold. And her English is getting better, which is good. I always find that fascinating that these fighters take the time to learn English. It's not an easy language to learn. And in order to communicate with the people over here more and open opportunities for them, they learn English. It's pretty commendable when they do. And so Amanda Lemos is number 5. And I saw some of her training. Her striking looked extremely crisp. I do, and she looks strong, don't get me wrong, but I do wonder about Zhang Weili imposing her physicality on Amanda Lemos and giving her different looks throughout the fight. And what I mean by different looks is sometime it'll be grappling, sometime it'll be in the clinch, sometime it'll be striking, sometime it'll be on the ground. Like, just giving her different looks to almost Alex Volkanovski her, it's a long ass name. But yeah, to do that to her, to confuse her on what to expect next. And so I think that Zhang Weili is moving to that phase of her career. And I think that that's what she does to Amanda in this particular fight. And I think that she wins a decision. I think it'll be a hard fought decision. I think that's where she goes with it. So the main event, this one, I've been waiting on this one for a while. Super hype about it. I got the Suga Show shirt on. So obviously, you know that I'm pulling for Sugar Sean O'Malley with my heart, but with my head, I'm leaning towards Aljamain, and I'll tell you why. So Aljamain is a grappler, and Sean is a striker. Everybody knows this. What's interesting about those statements is Aljamain's grappling can be defensive or it can be offensive. And Sean, his striking can be defensive or offensive. Aljamain can be offensive with his striking, but I feel like Sugar Sean O'Malley is not necessarily offensive with his grappling. So I think that's one problem. And even though we all know the game plan, I think that Aljamain can still impose his will on and Sean has to counter it and wait for opportunities. And if you're not the one pushing the action and you have to wait for the perfect opportunity, then your percentage for winning that particular fight, in my opinion, dwindles. So I think that Sean definitely has the ability to knock him out the same way that Marlon Moraes did. But when Marlon knocked him out, it was right after a break. There was something unintentional that caused the referee to break them up, and it was really I don't want to call it a fluke because he meant to throw what he was throwing, but it was the first motion after that break, and I think that Aljamain just had a lapse in judgment and telegraphed that shot, and that's how he got caught. I don't think that he does those things now. I think that he's a more evolved fighter, so he doesn't put himself in those situations. He knows what he does well, and he's going to stick to that until somebody makes him do something else. So I think that that's why he would win the fight. Now, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that Sean is able to find him, catch him. If he doesn't, then he's able to wrestle his way, use his grappling, which is good grappling, to stay away from him and keep the game where he wants to play it. I hope that's the way that it goes. But I mean, dude, you never know. You never know. But I will definitely be tuned in, as will most of you, I'm sure. So, crossing my fingers for Sean on this one. But until next time, definitely wanted to keep this one short and sweet since we're just talking about the main card. But we'll be on Twitter. We'll be watching the fight. So definitely hit us up or hit us up for anything. Until next time.